Good afternoon. It's lovely to see you. A very happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a good week. Thanks so much for joining us. If you like anything to do with beautiful cars, then you are going to just love the next 20 or 30 minutes, because we're going to go exploring all of the fabulous motoring events that happen in the country. So let me just do the screen share with you. Sorry, a bit of a technical hitch there. Right, sorry, I will try again. There we go. So, sorry, that was the table. As always, with all of these events, we have our fabulous contacts planted in all of the right places to make sure that your clients will have the absolute very best experience of each of them. And there's a really lovely mix, actually, of the small to the international event, and a lot of them are sort of spread quite happily through the year. So we'll share with you. Now, this picture is the absolutely stunning estate of Goodwood. We're going to talk quite a bit about Goodwood. If you haven't been down there, it's just down south of London, down in Sussex, and it's the most incredible estate. I mean, when they put on events, they don't do anything by halves. It is absolutely full on. So we're going to share the Festival of Speed, but it's worth visiting the estate just for an event. And actually, while we're talking about it, we'll do a proper piece about Goodwood for you. But as a venue for shooting parties and sort of country estate type activities, it's a real stunner. So, and there's accommodation on the estate and so on as well, which is just fabulous. So the Festival of Speed is it happens in the summer, and I think the description of it is that sums it up the best is a unique motorsport garden party, modern and old, slow and fast. Well, they're not all slow, but they're some a heck of a lot faster than others. And so if you've got a real, I don't know if you have the same expression over there as we do over here for people who love cars, but they're called petrol heads over here. So if you have a petrol head of a client, they will absolutely love this, because they can get so up close and personal with the cars and the drivers, and they can talk about engines to their heart's content, and it's absolutely stunning. For those who like who like something a little less noisy, maybe, but love the whole atmosphere and environment, then we recommend they take lunch on the library lawn, because it's terribly civilized. It's all done in the best possible English taste, and has the most spectacular views as well. So it's an incredible event crammed over a few days, and there are non-stop races and all sorts. I mean, you could easily, for a real petrol head, they'd happily spend 4 days, but I think a couple of days, even, you know, one of us normal people certainly wouldn't get bored. And you can just see some of the images and how much closer that image on the top right, how much closer the spectators are than you would ever get close to as at a Grand Prix or something like that. So it's pretty special. It's very special. Now, Goodwood Revival, which happens every September, except in 2020, obviously, very sadly. This is extraordinary. It is the only themed motorsport event. So everybody who is there from, and we'll show you some videos in a minute, which are glorious, everybody who is there is dressed in either 40s or 50s type clothing, from the spectators to the participants, all of those serving lunch and so on. I mean, it's a real thing to get dressed up for, and the costumes are absolutely glorious. So the cars obviously have to match the costumes. So you will see, or your guests will see, some of the rarest and most incredible classic cars from that period. So I've got to show you some. I mean, look at all the costumes, and the old victory roll in your hair. That's more for the women than the chaps, but you know, each to their own. And you can see that all of the different style of catering and so on. But let's have a little look, and you'll see. I mean, they're just amazing, glorious costumes. The cars and the people all sort of all blend in very well together, and they just love it. So yes, we had to share, because it's such a beautiful event, and you can see here them all dressed up and raring to go, which is wonderful. So that happens every September, and we had some clients who went in September last year as part of a trip, and they were utterly blown away. They're big NASCAR fans apparently, and they were utterly blown away by their day at Goodwood. So much so that we're planning a visit for them next September, just so they can tie in and go again, because they felt they missed out on a few bits. And then for something very different and a lot quieter, actually, Stoner Park is about 5 miles away from Henley, so it's sort of an hour or so west of London. And every April, they host a really fabulous stoner car, as they call it, Stoner Supercar Sunday. And so all of the owners arrive with their amazing cars. I mean, there is more love that goes into these cars than you can shake a stick at. And there's all the lovely fabulous street food, and it's set with the beautiful backdrop, as you can see, of Stoner Park. Excuse me. They do have some prizes for the best dressed car and the most original and all these sorts of things. So you can wander around, mix with the experts, mix with the owners, and it's just a lovely thing to do on a Sunday. So we would always share, obviously, if your clients are over during that time, then we would obviously let you know that is available. Now there are 2 Formula One races at Silverstone this year, but then everything is different in 2020, isn't it? The Grand Prix at Silverstone is quite amazing, and the opportunity to go behind the scenes and get up close and personal with the race teams and so on. We can arrange all of that for those petrol head clients of yours. But actually, what's also huge fun at Silverstone, they do some really great driving experiences. And if you have a client who would just love to drive a car very fast around Silverstone, then we'll happily make that happen. I did it once in a 3-litre Alpha, and it was quite incredible. I had an instructor, and I was being sort of taught how to follow the line and so on. And then I pretended not to hear him when he said I had to go into the pits just so I could do another lap of Silverstone. He smiled and let me off and didn't tell me off too badly, but it was huge fun, that adrenaline rush and the sound. So whether it's a classic car or a modern one, we will happily arrange that with you. We also have some rather good contacts with some of the Formula One and race teams. I mean, some of the other race teams as well. So if you have a client who wants to get really stuck in, roll the sleeves up, and just spend time with people who are involved and spend their lives dedicated to motorsport and motor racing, then we'll happily put that together. And there are sites across the country where we can do that. But you've got to go driving at Silverstone. It's just brilliant. It's absolutely fabulous. And Beaulieu is down on the south, near to the south coast, actually, at the bottom of Hampshire. And again, if you've got a motoring enthusiast, the collection is phenomenal. And they have some on a larger scale than Stoner. They have a stunning weekend where everybody who's anybody turns up, again with the most beautiful backdrop. It's a gorgeous estate, one of our favourites. And they've done all sorts of TV presentations and so on from Beaulieu. So again, we'll always include it and let you know if any events are going on. But we can arrange a rather lovely private visit down there for your clients who are that way inclined. Now, these events, the Salon Privé, I think they've been going now for about 6 or 7 years or so, and they've become so incredibly popular. The Salon Privé is usually held at Blenheim. The Concours d'Elegance has moved around a bit. They've done it at Windsor, they've done it at Hampton Court. So, you know, they're amazing backdrops, which these cars really do need. And it's they're run normally over a weekend, about 3 days, 4 days. They have races, they have competitions, and again, an opportunity to meet people, a real opportunity to do the uber ultimate experiences with these events, where your clients can spend time with the great and the good in the industry. And something we arranged for, actually they were a couple who were both petrol heads, which was rather fortunate. It was about 2 years ago, and they do a sort of a drive through the English countryside over about 4 or 5 days in the run-up to the Salon Privé. And so you can imagine you've got this convoy of all of these classic, almost priceless cars winding their way through from one beautiful country house hotel to another, stopping over for lunch and all that sort of thing. Now, officially, you have to be a member to be able to do that. But we have a friend who can help us out. So if you'd like, if your guests would like to be involved in something like that, we can certainly arrange, well, unless they want to ship over one of their own cars, but we can certainly arrange the car and the place and so on. But they're really stunning, stunning events, and they normally happen the first weekend of September. So we've got a little bit of a calendar here for you to show what goes on throughout the year, and it is lovely because there are things most months, depending on when your clients are coming. Oh, I got Stoner. I put Stoner in April. It's in May. Apologies for that. But yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff, and also there are some. And Lisa knows quite a bit about all of this. There are some lovely, smaller, sort of owner club type events, aren't there, that are really lovely for people to visit. So if you've got, you know, people who just own a lovely car and would like to go to an owners club thing, then we can make that happen too. And something we did talk about this in one of the previous tea and training events, but just a reminder, because it's such a lovely way of seeing our beautiful English countryside, to sit in a classic car in the summertime, wind blowing in your hair, all that sort of thing, and you go through the windy lanes. Now, most Americans are utterly amazed that we have lanes quite as narrow and with the high hedges and so on growing either side. But it's what adds to the atmosphere. So we'll always recommend that you take the scenic route, as we call it, rather than stuck on a boring old motorway. But we have a fabulous collection of classic cars, whether for a day or for the full trip. So here's an example, as always, of of a vintage car countryside tour. And the choice is absolutely theirs as to what they include and where they stop and so on. But we'll always recommend a lovely traditional English inn for lunch and an afternoon tea if they choose. Because one of the things about these days is there is absolutely, definitely no need to rush. The whole idea is just to slow the pace down a little bit and just enjoy it, and that's what we love doing. So there are some lovely images and more information, as always, on the website and on YouTube and Facebook and so on. So please do have a look. And there's the stunning Blenheim Palace. I just thought actually we should have shared. There's an amazing clip from one of the James Bond movies where he charges around the car park like a lunatic in it's not Ferrari, is it? Can't quite remember. Oh, it must have been one of his Aston Martins.
Aston Martin, yeah.
And it's amazing. If you can find, we'll send it to you actually when we send the stuff, because it's amazing seeing Blenheim Palace in a slightly different light than we do normally. So, are there any questions or anything that we haven't shared that you'd like to know about? No. Okay.
How many? I just have one question. How on the I don't know what it was called again, the Day of Speed, a World of Speed, or whatever it is. Anyway, how many people show up to that?
Oh, good question, Ginger. Actually, it's spread out. Golly, I'll find that out. I'm not, Lisa. Do you know? I'm not sure. I mean, it's not sort of tens of thousands, because the estate is big enough for that. But it's going to be a few thousand. But we'll find out. And
but not 20,000.
No. No, absolutely. So yes, we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you on that one. And just to let you know that I had a rather lovely weekend down in Somerset last weekend. It was so glorious to get out in the English countryside again. So Humphreys TV this Friday, which I hope you enjoy and enjoy watching, will be featuring either Cheddar Gorge or the beautiful, stunning city of Wells, which is the smallest city in England. Only 12,000 people, and it's still a city, but there's a cathedral, so that's why. So I hope you enjoy that on Friday. And we will very much, oh, Lisa, can I have a reminder what we're doing next week, please? I think. I'm sorry, we're having a mental blank, so we will let you know. I do apologize. I'm really sorry about that. Anyway, we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, and in the meantime, I hope you enjoy your little visit to the beautiful county of Somerset on Friday. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. Thanks so much. Bye.